sends a summary of the presenters along with a link to the YouTube channel, so if you want to see the video of our presenters. The idea behind 1 Million Cups is all about how can we further our startups and our entrepreneur community around 1 million cups of coffee. And with that in mind, we have to thank Kawa Coffee, who's our great coffee provider every week. And the wonderful entrepreneurs themselves, they've been here in the past. And then with that, I'm actually going to turn it over to Jack, who's going to go first. He is going to present for 6 minutes about his product, and then we open it up for 20 minutes of questions and answers. And then from there, we roll to our next presenter. So we're 9 to 10, and then if you want to network and ask questions afterwards, it's great. Last week we gave a challenge to bring more people and also bring more children so we can engage children very early. And when I say children, you know, it's anybody who's younger than, to me, not younger than 30. So I see that we do have some, you know, we're trying to engage those younger minds. So thank you and welcome, Jack Hogan with CapTool.
Thank you for coming, and really appreciate the opportunity to come up here and tell you a little bit about my product, which is pretty simple. But we'll walk you through it. Again, my name is Jack Hogan, originally from Indiana, but moved down here 34 years ago, always because of the cold and the snow. And that's exactly what it was. I'm a Navy veteran, spent 3.5 years in the Navy. Would have front for 20 if I'd been able to get into submarine service like I wanted to do, but my eyes got me out. I went to the Wright Technical Institute in Chicago for a year, after which I was an instrument maintenance technician, and I worked for GE and Goodrich. And at GE, I took a manager modeling course, and that drove me into the marketing scheme, so I thought this was a good thing to go, and I could take my technical background over into marketing and sales. I started my manufacturer's rep agency in 1992, and still work, again for the crazy guys, still work and enjoy it. I have 2 patents and working on a 3rd, and the 2nd patent should be in, matter of fact, this week or early next, on the CapTool, which I want to thank Danielle, Jan, and JJ for the help that they gave me at the startup studio that I took here and just finished last Thursday. And by the way, I would recommend anybody that is a veteran, you can go for free, and they do have some digital ones available if anybody would like to do that. But it was one of the best things that I think I've ever done this area. The problem is that on eye drop bottles, and let me ask, how many people take eye drops of some sort? Quite a few. And having glaucoma for 37 years, half my life as a matter of fact, I got tired of trying to get the safety seal off between the bottle and the cap, and it is a chore, and people use a lot of different things to do that with. So I came up with this little gadget called the CapTool. It's trademarked. And what it does is 2 things. It will take the safety seal off of the bottle and fit down over the cap. It's one way. It's down over the cap to take it off, especially when you get it new from the factory because it's torqued down pretty tight. They don't want to have a situation where they lose the solution. So that's the 2 things that it does. And research that we've done, which included senior expos at Newport Richie and a couple other places, so at least 95% of the people who took eye drops recognize the problem. So all I'm doing is coming up with a tool that I want to get out there and take care of that problem. This is actually true. And people have told me they've used various things like this, and you may have too. And one of the things that we comment on the website is the fact that girls with nails will try to do that, open that safety seal, and if they break the nail on a Saturday night before they go out, that's not a good thing, I guess. Tweezers and so on, and the teeth. And there's, you trying to do it, open that seal with the teeth. And there's at least one person in this audience that I know who has broken a tooth trying to take off not necessarily the safety seal of this device, but of something also mention real quick that one of the people that saw the first samples that I had at Newport Richie, she had cut her thumb trying to open it with a knife. She spent $1,800 getting stitches, and then $500 or $600 to get her taken out. She did not have insurance, so she was real tickled, and I'm using her as for a testimonial. So that's a good way to say not what you want to do. The solution is, I think, the CapTool, and I'll go into the next slide, and so you wonder, what in the world is a CapTool? Well, this is a CapTool, and I've been working on this about a little over a year, about, let's see, 7 months to get a patent, which is good. And I will have to say that there's an advantage if you're over 65 because they will expedite your patent.
I want you dying before. Let's do it.
But I guess if they feel that they can make some money, why? We'll try to help you some more time out. So there we go. The CapTool came about after, say, 5 head blocks over 37 years, which is quite long. So I was quite young when I got it. And there's a fallacy about glaucoma in that you do have people that catch it very old rather than young. And I was given some bad diagnosis about it. So anyway, it came about in a few designs, and the feature of the tube inside of the internal dimension here will open the cap. So we're all set there, and it's a nice advantage. The benefits are safety, because we're not using knives, the convenience of having something available, as well as the economic solution. I was selling this for like $2 a piece online, so I don't want to just sell them. I obviously I want to get the CPS and better. But there's some information about the market. There's very few products out there. There's no one that has any leverage item, and it's multifunction. So from a marketing standpoint, that's what I'm wanting to go to. And you can see the ophthalmologist side here. People have got a distributor over at CapTool tell me, and other promotional outlets. From a loyalty standpoint, you can have your name and phone number put on the part, and everything from the manufacturers. People like J.O. I love them so. So
wouldn't it be great if you could make one that was nearly disposable and get an actual eyebrow company to put it in the box?
I've checked into that. Okay. People take my eyebrows. And the problem is, from what I understand, not only from them, but from representatives that I've talked to, because that package is already set, and it's sort of like you will, you just can't do much with it. And I have a product that's thinner, shorter, that would fit into this box that you get it in.
Right.
I'm not going to give up on that, because even though they came back and said, no, we don't want to use it, that doesn't mean somebody else might.
All you need is one to do it, and the rest of them will jump around.
That's right.
I'm just curious, is this only beside for the eye drop bottle? Can it be adjustable?
No, not with this device. The question is, can it be adjustable? No. The reason I went with this design for this cap and this bottle is that it's used by the millions. And even this is a 5 milliliter bottle. Even with 10, it's just longer. So there's no change in the function. But I thought about that, but I decided, no, I'm going to stay with this because it's just used a lot. It can be also used for blink and redo and some of the over-the-counter devices as well. So it's not just a prescription type device. Yes, sir.
Hey Jack, two parts. On the other end of your device, there's a hole. Is that to wear around your neck or?
You're good. Hey, Randy. You're good. Actually, you know, being a bit practical, I just thought if somebody wanted to hang it in their cupboard so that it's closed, there it is, and whatever they might want to do with it.
Okay, on the second part, like Danielle brought kids today, and you got one end of the spectrum. How about the other end? If your other end of the device were for kids Tylenol, and I mean, my wife told me, go get something. I'm fumbling trying to open it, and she's like, come on, come on, come on. So on one end you got the eye dropper, but on the other end, could you put it for kids Tylenol or?
Absolutely. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, since you brought up that question as to whether I could be a little more versatile, the answer is yes. And I have a prototype of one that's used for Boost and Ensure, you know, the nutritional thing.
Right.
For the nutritional drinks, and you know, older people just have a problem. Now, the seal on that is not too bad. Either one of those devices or those products. But I haven't produced a mold on that yet because that's secondary to the CapTool. But I will, I think, someday.
And Jack brought a young helper too today.
Oh.
Yes, I was. That's what yes.
Jack, seems like corporations are always looking for promotional giveaways, things like that, and even small businesses in the area that they can hand out to promote themselves. Is that a good use for that?
The fact that you can have, it's a promotional device, you know, a lot of people give out pens, no doubt about it. First, I got a 250-piece order, which is a minimum if you want your name and phone number on there. But, you know, that's not too bad. I don't think that from a quantity standpoint, and it doesn't cost that much more. What I do with the display case that I have here is, if you gave me an order, I would make the display case, I put together, I would fill it, it goes into that same size box that you see here, and then the rest of the box contains the other 220 pieces. So there's 30 in the display case, and all you have to do is pull it out, and say an ophthalmologist, put his card in there, and it's ready to go. So I think that's a pretty good idea. And I've got 5 covers with a business card or without, I don't care. I've got hopefully enough samples for everybody. So, yes, sir.
Well, I wasn't going to ask a question, I was stretching. But
I'm sorry, you got to ask the question.
thank you for sharing your business with us. I don't know if you would reveal this, but what would be your cost of goods for this?
I don't mind sharing it with you. I mean, just don't cut it.
Retail.
Resale?
Yeah, COGS and then retail.
Yeah. What I did is I decided instead of selling one and on the internet, I went with 2, 4, 6, 12, and 24. Let's say you got a reunion, you want the Smith reunion on there. You can do that, and get it in a low quantity. It's not that high price. And I sell if you buy 2, they're $3.98 for the 2, $3 shipping and handling. So it's not like it's a ton of money. Right. For a device that you can use, but you can give it to your, let's say your family or friends or parents, because your parents may like an item like this as well. Yes, sir.
Yeah. What's the quantity on this? How many bottles of eye drops are sold?
I'm sorry?
How many bottles of eye drops are sold?
Oh my gosh. If you just look at this model, I mean, it's got to be in the millions. I mean, there's a lot of people who wear glasses have contacts, they're taking something, lubricants or whatever, and the CapTool, because of the predominance of the way it's used, this will fit most of it.
What I was thinking was, how much does an eye drop cost? I have no idea.
Well, I don't either because I'm on Medicare, so. But I want models to try out and that type of thing, and it'll fit a lot of them.
I was just saying, you can sell it to the manufacturers of the eye drops and they put it right into their bottles, and they can say, if you buy one, it's $5. If you buy 2 or 3, it's free.
If you think about it, from a promotional device or from an OEM standpoint, if somebody, Jabil Circle wants something different to have their name on it and that type of thing, you know, it's available to them. And my ophthalmologist, as an example, he has endorsed it, it's on the web. He's endorsed it, and the first thing he did when I gave him the prototype is he just went right down the line to see what it would fit, and it would fit everything but one. He says, I don't prescribe that much anyway. Yes, sir.
So how much work would it be to have this covered by vendors? So something, you know, walking a Walgreens, senior buys a eye drop on Medicare and they also buy your device.
You know, that's an
Can you answer that at all?
excellent thought. I don't know. I can tell you this, I have looked at CVS, Walmart, Walgreens, and so forth, and in their contracts to be able to get in there, they're that thick. I'm not afraid of that at all.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to go through and push forward. But on Medicare, I don't know. That's a good question. That's this year. Next year, yes, sir.
Have you approached AARP? They sent AARP, retired.
Not yet, but they're on.
Wouldn't be a terrible idea, yeah, they send out those
Believe me,
goodie bags.
They're on the radar because of, you know, the Arthritis Foundation and just on and on and on. And you know, definitely like to get it out there and get it started. That's where I'm at. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What kind of plastic is it made out of?
That's a good question. And it's ABS.
ABS?
I
And,
can pronounce the A, but the B is, I can't pronounce it.
yeah.
It's ABS. The reason is
Because people will want to use that contraption for other things, and I'm thinking how durable it will be.
it's durable. And that's the point, because, I mean, my daughter, Riley's mother, she's my granddaughter right there.
Yes.
She tells me all the time, she says, Dad, I found a use for it here and there and everywhere. So it's you know, and you need to go with UPS boxes, seal it, tape it, whatever.
Something that you keep in your kitchen drawer.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Hey, Jack, first of all, thank you for serving. My dad was a veteran, too. Thank you very much. Where are you at in your distribution interest? Has anybody is interested in your product yet? And how many sales have you had so far?
I just a couple of weeks ago, I had my first 250-piece sale, and that's fine. I'm just getting it started. And believe it or not, it came from an organization called TAMM, T-A-M-M, and it's Trinity Area Marketing Mixer. And I go to it up on 54 there, and the first firm that bought the 250, believe it or not, was for funeral homes. I thought that was interesting, and I do have a lot of people interested. Even one that came to me one time, I was doing a show somewhere, and he had a helicopter service, you know, of transporting people. And he said, what is that? I told him, and he says, give me a quote for 250. And I've given you a quote. I haven't heard from him, and I've followed up, but that's been a little bit ago. But anyway, you know, it's just amazing where it can be. Yes, ma'am.
I recommend that you go to occupational therapists because they're the ones that use adaptive devices. So I would go directly to them, pass them out to them, make sure your name and all your information's on it because they're the closest to the vendors when you get to that point.
That's great.
They also have a trade magazine, if you could get into the trade magazine.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yes. Yes, sir.
How about going to a manufacturer that sells retail product, you know, for maybe like a bundling promotion on a national level? So you go to Sam's, you see a bundle of 2 or 3 packages.
You mean away from promotional products like
well, that could be one channel, but another channel could be a bulk sale to a national manufacturer.
Sure, yes.
They bundle 2 or 3 in one package, so
yeah.
Sam's is one of those.
You know, I've got a whole world out there, I think, in this little guy, and I'm just getting started. So I'm probably going to redo my website. I've been told it's not this up to date is what it should be, and I've got an overlay to develop it. So I have to do it every person. Yes, sir.
There's a lot of great ideas in the room on, you know, what you could do with it. What do you want to do with it in the next 3 to 6 months, and what do you need to get there?
Good question. What do I want to do with it the next 3 to 6 months? I want to sell the product, and I still work my rep business. But what I want to do is get away from my rep business, which there's not a lot of loyalty there anymore. With the internet and everything else, reps are we're sort of dinosaurs. I still believe in reps, good reps. But I'd sort of like to drift out of that. As my sales picked up, I'd like to get a manager and just have them take care of the sales and so forth. I'd like to get a RV and run around the country taking pictures. How many years I've got left, but at 74, I'm still going. So, yes, sir.
I'm listening, and I'm not sure that this is something that you want to take to manufacturers, only because it increases cost and there's no product differentiation because most of their products are getting prescribed anyway. So no one's going there and choosing their individual, they're getting a prescription. My only additional observation is that the ophthalmologist associations and the stuff where all the doctors convene and I mean, you know they love to have conferences.
Yeah.
That would be a great place to show this because that gives them some marketing with their inscription and then some advantage because you say, you know what, we're giving you a prescription, but we're also giving you this tool.
And because my ophthalmologist endorsed the product, he will not have to buy one. You know, and he's getting out there as well. So it's going. The other thing, yes, Dave.
I was going to say, you've mentioned ophthalmologists several times. Are you also looking at doing this with opticians, which is another segment of that?
Absolutely,
okay.
Yes. Opticians,
optometrists and ophthalmologists, all three.
Lens crafters, and you know, it's involved with eye care in some manner. Yes, sir.
Diabetes associations.
I'm sorry?
Diabetes.
Yes. Those are both good ideas there. Diabetes Association. I went to the Arthritis Foundation. I went to the Arthritis Foundation. I was somewhat amazed that I could get it into their magazine, but they wanted like $4,000 to approve this so that it was actually capable of being endorsed by them. In other words, it was a certified product, if you will, as compared to one that I could go for a lot less money and still get in their magazine. So all of these things are out there, and I think we're good. Before I go, I would like to show you one other thing that I came up with. It's a complementary device. And after you get the safety seal off and the cap open, you can put the bottle into this device, which I call an eye drop dispensing tool. And you put it in there. It's a press fit, so it'll stay in there. You can handle this as a one unit, and what it can do is you put it up there, you drops it, right? And a lot of older people don't have the strength to squeeze them off. Yes,
I want to give a testimonial. My mother's been at 90 years old, has macular degeneration, eye drops twice a day. She's been using the CapTool for 3 months. Says it's the best gift I've ever given her, which is kind of irritating, but.
And now you know to get her that little
She's
squeaky
extremely
thing.
happy with it.
Jack, one is it a force molding item, and what's your cost of production?
I have on the CapTool.
Yes.
I have a 2-cavity mold.
Okay.
A firm that I went to in Sarasota molds it.
Okay.
And I bought 10,000. I take the salt and pepper with me when I go after junk because I'm not going to say, well, I'm going to go do this now. I'm prepared to go and to grow the product. The tool was made in China, but brought over here because I didn't want to have it made in the USA. I would like to have the tool made here too.
Okay.
But this item, I've got a 4-cavity mold coming in on that. That's made by a different company up in Odessa. And to answer your question, maybe as far as what the CapTool costs, it's 19 cents is what I can get it for. And the reason I went to the 4-cavity tool on this is I could sort of match the cost at 18 cents.
Okay. Great.
So I don't think I'm doing out of line with, that's a raw cost of the part. There's packaging and other things that have to go into it too. So I don't think I'm out of line when you buy 2 for $3.98.
Have you thought of 3D printing for these things?
What?
3D printing?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I didn't understand. Now, I thought about 3D. Yes, this was made on 3D printing.
Okay.
And this was made, believe it or not, across the state. The guy that I know